I'm behind the wheel now in the Mercedes-Benz S550, all new for 2015, and if I had to sum this car up in one phrase, I can't do it in one word, it's just not possible, but one phrase, I would say relaxation is key. That's the main thing with this car. It's so cool because you have a car that is really focusing on doing things to make your drive or your trip more comfortable. Driving it is a pleasure as well. The steering has a very luxurious input. And one thing that Mercedes has done, we talked about this on the CLA segment, is the comfort and sport differences. Well, they're a little more noticeable on this one than they are the CLA because you have the aromatic suspension. It really is like floating on a cloud in the comfort mode, which I have it in now. But if I push the sport button, it comes up on the dash and says aromatic sport. And it stiffens things up a little bit. It even stiffens the steering up, and you can feel it get a little sportier. We're on kind of some country roads now, and there's a little more input from the steering as far as the feeling and the suspension as well when it comes to these curbs. The same is true of the throttle response. If we push that button, we can go from eco to sport mode, similar to what we did in the CLA, but it's a little more pronounced in this car. Part of the reason it's more pronounced is because this car has a lot more power than the CLA. This is the lowest amount of power you can get in an S-Class for 2015. This is the S550. And it has a 449 horsepower V8 with a 0 to 60 time under 5 seconds, which is the same we had last week on the Porsche Cayman S. But that's a two-seater, very small car. Obviously, it has a lot less horsepower. It takes a lot more power and a lot more torque to move a car that weighs this much, but that's pretty unbelievable, especially when you consider this is the slowest and least powerful S-Class that you can buy. You can get a V12, you can get a V8 AMG, then there's a V12 AMG, and the top of the line model has well over 600 horsepower, which is really just, is it too much? I don't know if you could ever say that, but it certainly gives you the impression that yes, the power is taken care of. If you're looking for power, well, it's got it. No problem there. So here we are in the back seat. As you can see, I have like a ton of room. This seat is back pretty far from the front. And, well, you got these excellent sunshades. Let me show you how this works. So you put that down, and it's got this little, see, this one comes in, you got this nice little cover here for it, so that's pretty cool. Do it again, you think, oh, the sun's in my face, I really want that gone, so you can put that up. Got a nice sunshade on the top there. We've got lots of buttons to push back here, plenty of entertainment if you're one of the rear seat passengers. Here, let me put that down, you can look out the window if you'd like. Some other things about sitting back here, you got the vanity mirrors, which are pretty cool, and you can kind of, you know, make sure your hair looks good, all that kind of stuff. We've got lots of different controls for the seats, which are pretty nice. Lots of ways that you can adjust those. Got a nice armrest here in the middle that comes down. We've got cup holders in the end there, as you can see. So all in all, this is just a nice place to be. These pillows, I call them pillows, they're really headrests, but if you ever sit in here and you put your head back, it really is like a pillow. So I may just take a nap, a mid-morning nap, if you will. We're in the Mercedes S-Class. This is kind of a different view for you, but you're going to get to see this entire dash. We've got two humongous LCD screens on here, and they run everything from the dash. You see the gauges here. It even has a picture of your car, just in case while you're inside, I guess you might forget what it looks like. I don't know. I think that's funny. All the Mercedes are doing that now. And then it goes away if you don't touch it in a certain amount of time. Well, let me fire this thing up here and you'll get to see Mercedes-Benz there. And so, warning, do not let this distract you because that would be very easy to do. Okay, so we start with the navigation, then you can look at the radio controls. We've got XM radio here. You can listen to different things and different media controls. There's all sorts of different things. If I push this, we can kind of back off the fan speed a little bit on the air conditioner. Lots and lots of functions here. In fact, we even have a seat massage. You heard me mention that earlier. Well, if I push this button here, there we go. So this is all your different seat controls. You've got seat heating. You've got well, a whole bunch of stuff. You can adjust your backrest sides, adjust the lumbar, adjust for your shoulder width, all those type of things, massage. We've got these dynamic multi-contour seats are pretty cool because what those do is, as you go around the corner, the different side bolsters will inflate and deflate to kind of keep you in place so you don't go sliding around. Not that you're going to be doing a lot of sporty driving with this car anyway, but it's just a nice feature to keep you in place and keeps that luxury feel continuing as you're driving around. Some other things. Let's see what happens when we push this button. There's so many buttons in here. Oh look, there's your car again, in silver this time. This has all sorts of different things that you can do, vehicle settings. So, acoustic lock feedback, different things that will adjust your seat belt for you, automatic mirror folding, locator lock. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do. This is one of my favorites. I think this is so funny. The trunk opening height restriction. So if you're a little bit shorter and you can't reach the button to close it, and you don't want to get the keys out of your pocket or your purse, you can adjust the height so that when it opens, it stops at a certain position. There's a lot of little features. Here's ambient color inside. So see, it's going to show you here, you want to do this kind of color. If I adjust this, here's morning white, sunset orange. These are different colors. At night, we'll record some stuff at night and you'll kind of see the difference of all this. But we'll stick with morning white now since it's Phil's morning drive. Oh, brightness, sure. Easy entry, exit. There's so many different buttons and features. You could really spend your whole day just trying to decide all this stuff before you even decide where would you like to drive first. Here's seat settings. Oh yeah, let's look at these cameras. So here's a look at the cameras. We're in a parking lot right now, and this is really cool because you have, this is what it looks like in front of us. If I put it in reverse, it will go to the back camera. This helps to show you not only like where your tire tracks are, but how close you are to the curb and just different things. This shows you here, this extra line shows you that if you're going to open the trunk, that's how much extra space that you'll need to go stand back there to be able to open it. So if I put it back in park, you still have some other different things that you can look at. Here's all about your fuel economy. The owner's manual. You know, back in the day, you'd have a book, it'd be in the glove box, say, honey, how do we turn on the whatever? Well, in this one, the owner's manual is all digital. It's going to like download it, and you can sit here and read it or search for it or whatever you need to do. You could probably talk to it. I'm just not really sure how. See, here's all sorts of things here that you can do. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is show you a few of the nighttime S550 features. I'm going to turn this light off that's kind of lighting things up so you can get the idea of what it's like. And as you can see, this kind of blue color is here, but we go into vehicle settings and you will notice that we have ambient light color choices. So I'm going to change a few of these and let you see kind of some of the differences here. We've got Twilight Purple. They all have these cool names too. Dawn Red, which almost kind of has a purple or a maroon look to it. You can even see it kind of being bathed here on my arm. It's also being bathed on the back seats as well. Keep going and we get to Glow Red, which is kind of a sporty look. Sunset Orange, Morning White, which is kind of more of a traditional thing, but it still kind of is still going around and bathing the interior in it. Daylight White, and then we're back to Moonlight Blue. I'll go ahead and turn the headlights back on now and you'll see how bright those are. Really neat. Put them on automatic and then it kind of works its way in and out. I'll drive here a little bit so you can see, but it kind of gives you this really cool view of what's happening. These are so much brighter than xenon bulbs. It's really remarkable whenever you drive around in this car. You know, if you've seen xenon bulbs, you know that they're fairly bright, but then when you see these, it's like xenon bulbs all of a sudden is like, oh, did somebody have a candle and they have like a, you know, a mirror or something that they're shining it with. It's totally different than this. It's really neat. It's cool to see how technology has continued to advance with these type of things, but these headlights are almost like someone opening their eyes, the way they go back and forth between high and low beam, and when they say adaptive, they mean it. When you're going around these corners and different input that you have from the steering wheel to how fast you're going, all those things factor into the way the headlights adapt. As you start to go around a corner, the headlamps move with you, and then you have like almost like a side headlamp that lights up that's like, hey, just to want to let you know, here's what's going to be happening when you get over there. If you wanted even more nighttime visibility, you could order the Night Vision package, which has a really cool feature where it uses infrared cameras to detect heat. So some of the things that can do is it finds animals or pedestrians or maybe a parked car that's been abandoned recently. If it's got some issues or something, it can see the heat signature, and it's looking beyond your headlamps, which if you've seen these headlamps in person, I really hope it's coming across on the video, but seeing these headlamps in person, I can't imagine what would be beyond them that I would even care about seeing, because it really brightens up the road and almost makes it like daylight, especially when it goes into this immersive high beam mode. I mean, it's really brighter than any other car lights I've ever seen in my life. I can honestly say that. And I've driven quite a few cars with xenon headlamps, but nothing like this. Not even close. And of course, at night, you also have this excellent, these gauges, everything, LCD screens. There's no analog anything in here. Well, that is, except for the clock, which is lit up, well, basically just like an Indiglo watch. It's really, really, really neat. Only this looks more like a Rolex, as opposed to the folks that have patented the Indiglo. So anyway, it's pretty cool, but I wanted you to get to see what it was like at night, because the car has a totally different experience. It almost is like a nightclub or a limousine, if you so choose, with the color. You can also do something sporty or something that's soothing. You know, if you had a long day at work, you get off late at night and you're driving this car. This is all about relaxation, and boy, it's that theme is carried over into the nighttime. I have to say, that's definitely the case. More things we can say about the relaxation is key to this car. You've got certainly a lot of things to help you with different climate issues. Right now, it's June, and so we have the air-conditioned seats on, and I've got them on high, and it really does help to cool your back, and the seat is cool to the touch, and these seats being black, that really does help kind of get the heat off of them in the summertime. Other things for climate, obviously we have the excellent climate controls for driver and passenger. You can add another option that gives each person in the back their own choices as well, as far as that goes. Other things we have, you can maybe see behind me, we have the sunshades on the back window. I'll put them down, and then you'll probably see them move over my shoulder. I'll put them up and down there so you can see that. We also have the shades up top here. If I push that, actually opens it, but if you wanted to do the sunshade, you can close that. There you go. So that kind of shows you that, and we closed the back one too. You can see both of those there on the camera. So that kind of helps to keep the sun out. I personally like the open air feeling of the cabin, so I leave these open whenever I'm driving, but I could see if you're going to park in a parking lot, that would be a good time that you could close those, especially in the summer. There's a rear window sunshade as well. And so you get all those things together, and that helps to keep the cabin cool, especially when you have a black car with a black interior, which, by the way, is gorgeous. This wood trim, the combination there, the wood steering wheel. So that is the summertime taken care of. In the winter, we have a heated steering wheel. We have heated seats. You can also opt for heated panels and armrests. So this whole area here would be heated. All the door handles would be heated as well. So there's a lot of things that go along with that. You can also get the front windshield heated. The back windshield is already heated. So a lot of things like that to make it a little more comfortable in the winter. And we also have, with the air freshener, you have the opportunity to keep the cabin smelling good in all sorts of situations. There's also an ionizer to kind of help get pollution or germs, or I don't know, it's like a completely sterile environment and things. Even though this car has a lot of horsepower, the way it delivers the power is really just a nice big surge. If you were to really press on the gas, basically what would happen is you would feel just a surge of power. I mean, it does kind of push you back in the seat, but it's not the same as a sports car. It's a very luxury jet type of a feeling, the way that it pushes you along. Other things that we can talk about, if we had to do a cons list, what would I say are the cons? Well, clearly the price. This is not something that your average person can afford. This particular model with these options is kind of a mid-level car, I consider it to be, because it doesn't have a lot of the rear seat equipment. And it's priced at about $113,000, so certainly up there on the price list. You really can't get one for much under $100,000. I think the base price is like 97, so somewhere in that range. So you're going to be hard pressed to get one of these for under $100,000. But I will say, for the price itself, you really get a lot of equipment, and it certainly is in a completely different league than other cars. And what's interesting about these big four-door cars over the years is that, you know, you have some competitors. You have the BMW 7 Series, you have the Audi A8. Those different cars have a little bit of a different feel, and so when you get into this category, if you're wanting ultimate luxury, I think this is the car to go with. Although BMW and Audi do an excellent job of making things luxurious, BMW errs more on the sporty side, I feel like, which you could get an AMG version of this that would be a little sportier and have some sportier touches. But if you're going for all-out luxury, I think that the S-Class continues to lead the group in that category. Another thing about this car that I've mentioned before when I've talked about the Mercedes S-Class is that the coolest thing about driving this car is you're really getting a sneak preview of things to come. A lot of the technology on this car, keeping you in your lane, helping you stay awake, a lot of those kind of things, the different aspects of the laser guided cruise control, all of those things really work together to help keep your drive safe and comfortable. And I think you're going to see a lot of this technology coming to the average car, which would be more like $30,000 or $40,000, even $25,000 in the next 10 years. So it's really like we're driving the future today on Phil's Morning Drive.